Hello, Sonia Gill here with another 2-minute top tip whilst we are still living in a state of some degree of lockdown. A few weeks back you might remember that I said now is not the time to be having difficult conversations. The emotional load of these is too high, and if you can avoid them for a period, then do. My top tip today is that now really could be the time to have difficult conversations. And I'd like to break that down for you because I'm talking a lot to head teachers. I talk to head teachers all the time, and there are some things that are quite noticeable, which makes me say that I think now could be the time, if you are a leader in school, to pick up some difficult conversations. When this crisis happened, I have no doubt you saw members of your team just shine so brightly, and I suspect you saw the vast majority just be amazing and incredible, even more amazing than our teachers and educators are normally. They took it to a whole new level, and that has just been incredible to see. But I know all the way through this, I've had school leaders and head teachers talk to me about how there are some people who didn't really step up, how actually behaviours have been amplified. All those great people just got greater. But actually those people where there'd been some issues, some things that weren't quite right with how we were working together, how we were working in schools, they also got amplified. I think how people have reacted during the crisis, as well as how they have been before the crisis, puts a spotlight on where there are some very necessary difficult conversations. Now, don't get me wrong, I totally appreciate that some people could not get as involved as they would have liked to because of their own personal situations. They maybe had lots of children at home, loved ones they needed to be looking after, are vulnerable, shielding. I'm not saying they aren't reasons, but I bet those people who were always wanting to step up as much as they could and contribute as much as they could would have done the most they could have. What I'm typically seeing is those who didn't, but who also there were issues with prior to the crisis. Well, maybe it's just worth having a think about, is there a conversation that needs to be had? Because I believe when people don't really engage with what we're about and what we're doing, there are reasons for them, as well as the way it manifests in school, that leads to that. I give this tip with a heavy heart because I hope you don't need to have difficult conversation. I realise this time is really hard on everyone, but what I have seen is where the right situations have been identified by heads and school leaders, and where they have been handled with sensitivity and care, but also honesty, that actually what we're seeing is good end results for both that person as well as for the school. And that's always what we're looking for. So a slightly longer tip, apologies, but I hope that makes sense. As I say, I hope you don't need any of these conversations, but be mindful. Now could be the time for some difficult conversations, but only the ones that are really needed. I hope you're all well. Do stay safe. We get through this together.